Because at the start, they were all going out on all odds and sods.
Okay.
Now they're going to swap it over.
Why did you need a paycheck?
Well, because I told them to. I said,
Told them.
look, this is what they need to start doing.
Sounds like collusion.
Oh,
Biased caster.
bias cast? Yeah, well, I've been called that before, but... They have gone on the scout. Buster's found them. Is holding early, too. Buster on the Sombras found them early, but Athletico knows something's up. That translocator does make a noise when you translocate back.
Yeah. So Mindfreak swapping up onto the Reinhardt as opposed to the Winston. Going to make the high ground contests just a little more difficult for them.
This puts Aki in a good position to get a lot of damage out and force Paso out early. If you can get that Discord on.
Ionade's good. Bast and Kiki connected, but you can see the external bubbles from Addy does remove that from Bast, and then Kiki, he's fine anyway. And Athletico have been forced off of the high ground. A good start here for Mindfreak. Can they capitalize on it? Swuko might have got a bit too eager, but does get out okay. No harm done there for Mindfreak, and now they're in control and on the point. Paso with an early Primal Rage is really going to be making Aki feel bad. What a Bionade. Hits 4 Mindfreak players, but yet none of them go down, and Paso, the focus, is just going to be absolutely obliterated, even through that Primal Rage. August with his rally running is just going to be bouncing around the point, and that's a great charge from Bus. And, well, that was a fairly short-lived defense from Athletico.
Certainly was. The Reinhardt choice is the perfect choice there. He can walk up with his shield. Yeah, one gets bionated, but he can just walk back a little bit, and meanwhile Aki and Addy are still dealing out the damage to force them off that high ground. August missed an opportunity to get an early stun onto Paso, which would have forced things really poorly if Paso went down that early, but good target focus from Mindfreak too. They managed to burn Paso through that Primal Rage and Nano Boost on top of that, so they had to deal a lot of damage there. A lot of meat to chew through there. As we see an early hold though from Athletico, so they could get potentially 3 fights in here. Bust goes and shatters the shield for fun.
What are you doing, Bus? That's not how it's supposed to work. Well, see if Mindfreak can find a way to salvage this one with the Transcendence going on through. The Bionades still have been pretty good from Merit, but the self-destruct's even better from Kiki. It's a nice shatter from Paso to follow up. Not quite there. Only the 1 kill comes from it. Swuko not feeling too happy after getting smacked in the face by another nade, incidentally. Graviton Surge doesn't seem to have done too much there for Mindfreak either. Aki's finally going to be able to get one, but Mindfreak, they're really struggling to win this fight cleanly, and as a result, the payload's not moving.
Yeah, Athletico have committed so many ults into here, but they're still not winning the fight too comfortably. Swuko had a nice beat there to save a few players from dying to a Diva Bomb, but now, with that close spawn, Mindfreak are going to be at an advantage here. Boss shattering that shield is a bit of a waste, but now now he's actually asleep. This could be an opportunity for Paso if he can get a nice fire strike off. Get a bit of ult charge, but he won't. He'll actually drop very low.
Yeah, and has to put the shield down, try to back away, and straight away, as soon as that happens, Addy is going to roll on over him. The rest of Athletico should fall pretty quickly here. Without that damage mitigation from the Reinhardt shield, they are going to be lambs to the slaughter.
And that fight didn't cost anything for the side of Mindfreak. They just got some good counter-aggression now. Paso went a little bit too forward, trying to look for Bus sleeping there. And Mindfreak were able to punish him, but August with that brick stun was pivotal in taking down Big Paso. Now Athletico have a hard task here. They don't have defensive ults to deal with these aggressive ults from Mindfreak. The rally will come out from August and they'll get very in their face. Means Paso won't be able to get too much off this shadow if Mindfreak play it properly.
The Graviton Surge out from Addy could be a really good one from this high ground. There's so many avenues for him to get one in. Just waiting for the opportunity when he sees the defense matrix fading away. It's Earth Shatter down first, and that's good from Bust. Maybe we can hang on to the Graviton Surge here. That's what Mindfreak's thinking, but inevitably it does have to be invested as they're not winning the fight cleanly enough. And, well, once the grab goes down, it's all she wrote for Athletico.
Bit of an exclamation point on the fight, that Graviton Surge. Maybe could have been kept, but better safe than sorry. Mindfreak move on, and they have 4 minutes in the time bank to cap out this 3rd point. It can be a difficult one, it can be easy to stall just because that defender's advantage there. Merit swaps over onto the Zenyatta. Expect him to get a few picks here, I reckon. He's very talented on this hero, one of the best aimers in the region.
Loves those 5 balls. We used to see that a lot in seasons past.
Wuvo closing on this Graviton Surge. It will be answered by Aki's Transcendence.
Oh, that shatter almost reached Wuvo. Not quite, but it does reach a few more Athletico players, and self-destruct goes through from Kiki as well. I'm absolutely astonished as to how Athletico have managed to keep themselves alive through all of that. It was a great sound barrier down from design. An absolute miracle that no one goes down until this point for Athletico, but it was always a losing fight. And sooner or later, the fight does end up falling by the wayside. It was just a long-fought thing for Mindfreak.
Certainly was. It looked a little difficult, but as soon as that Aki Transcendence came through to answer the Graviton Surge, it always looked like a Mindfreak fight. Now Aki swapped over to get back to the point a bit faster. That means the Discord won't be in this fight. Athletico need to just draw this fight out as long as possible, build some ults, get the Discords out, and get the good target focus.
Graviton Surge going to be really important here for Addy. Playing that dance. Bus looking for an Earth Shatter as well. There's a lot there for Mindfreak. The Shatter doesn't connect. Blocked well by Passo.
The Transcendence was used though. This is a free grab.
It certainly is. Where's the kills coming from though? There isn't really anything for Mindfreak. August is low and he'll be picked off. There's the picks you're talking about from Merit on Zenyatta. And it should be enough now that Mindfreak are going to have to be forced away. Oh, they almost get it. 1.16 meters, and I don't think any Athletico players were on the cart for a moment there, but still.
It was a bit of a tense moment there with those two players on the cart. It was a good play though. That's what you want to do. You want to die on the cart when that happens. Addy pulled the trigger a little too early on the Graviton Surge. The Transcendent was fading off from Merit, but Athletico was still so healthy and ready to pounce back. Passo managed to build an Earth Shatter, and that counter shatter sealed the fight for them. Now Athletico have a nice little ult advantage actually coming in here because Aki did swap over. It means the next Graviton Surge and River will all basically be free. Yeah, the sound barrier can come out, but you can burn through a sound barrier. How are Mindfreak going to approach this? We've got the one ult coming up from Kiki's bomb. Now, this is a good point for the D.Va bomb too. It's very hard to hide from.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've seen time and time again D.Va bombs having an impact. Just shoot around the corner.
D-Field prematurely rally a little bit there. Mindfreak able to back off. That's a big ultimate use because that D-Field rally or the rally from any of the Brigittes can give you a big defensive ult advantage.
Oh, self-destruct is thrown in, so is Earth Shatter, neither really getting a whole lot done. Now it's Sound Barrier down from Swilko, and he'll force the troops forward. An answering Sound Barrier though out from Design, and a much better Graviton Surge from Wubo than what we saw last fight from Addy. Is going to once again net enough fight win for Athletico. This is where the payload always tends to get caught, isn't it, on Numbani? Up into phase C, really tough to push around these corners.
Certainly is. You need to combo your ults well, and that Graviton Surge from Addy on the second point to close out the fight has really come back to bite them now because they haven't had the ability to snowball through and chain ultimates together. They've had to stagger it out a little bit. And as soon as you lose one fight on this corner, it can be very difficult to retake because there's such long sight lines. You can keep your Zenyatta so safe. And that's what we've seen now. Passo, is he going to jump off the top rope? No. Needs to show himself as Mindfreak were wise to his antics. August with the rally is going to force a lot of pressure onto Passo. Will he be able to sustain?
Oh, where was that shatter going? I don't know. Doesn't seem to have connected onto too much. Again, I think that was a block from Bus.
This is going to be the free grab from Addy though.
Grab is big. It's going to collect a lot of players. This is not enough. Then shatter is available as well for Bus. Doesn't really seem to have mattered too much. That'll be the wife that Athletico was hoping to avoid. I don't know how many people are going to be able to get onto the point. Probably D-Field just in time. Oh no, he was booped out of the shatter. Can you believe it? Still not probably going to matter as Wubu gets dropped early. But D-Field, if he's alive, there's always a chance here for Athletico. The Wrecking Ball is the danger. Aki will pop a Transcendence just to keep his team healed on up through that self-destruct. Just wait for the point for a moment. We're fighting in overtime now, but D-Field still spinning around that point. Finally drops to the self-destruct. Could have been a little quicker there from Mindfreak, but they get the job done in the end. And certainly finishing off Numbani is never easy.
Yeah, they've got that check mark now. They've got a situation where they can win or draw. It's very hard to lose from here unless Athletico have a stunning attack. But what we saw there is that rally advantage I was talking about earlier. August pops the rally to start the fight off. He runs into Passo. Everyone gets really aggressive into Passo. Passo is forced to run back, kite back, and he drops his shadow. But he doesn't catch anything because Bus was waiting for that shadow. They knew that was going to come. That's the defensive mindset of a Reinhardt. When you're getting backed into a corner, sometimes you're an inexperienced player, you can just throw your shadow and hope for the best. And that forced the Transcendence out of Merit. Now, Addy was able to answer properly this time with that Graviton Surge. And that's the advantage of having a good Brigitte player that knows when to use their rally properly. We saw D-Field waste his previously, and August didn't do the same here.
Well, it was the defense that you spoke about being potentially more of an issue for Athletico to deal with than the attack. I mean, I suppose the expectation was always that Mindfreak should finish the map off, but is that the same for Athletico as we head into now Mindfreak's defensive side? Point A, going to be a tough nut to crack.
It's definitely going to be a tough nut to crack with Bus on the Winston and Aki on the Ana. We saw on Paris that the rotations coming out, Aki was able to find them time and time again. Bus was able to find them time and time again in those rotations and pick off the support players. So Athletico need to be really disciplined here, and Quad J needs to be on the money with eating those grenades. Otherwise, we could find ourselves getting into map 4 pretty quickly. Reinhardt composition comes out from Athletico. This is a decent one because you can block the nade with the shield if you jump or you angle the shield properly, especially if you go high ground. We saw Mindfreak themselves use that Reinhardt to their advantage and really get the health advantage of from that 2000 HP shield. Will Aki have the right nade angles here to bypass that shield though?
Sure, he's been working hard trying to figure him out.
It's cooking it up in the lab, and here it goes. The first one will come out now.
Doesn't seem to have done too much.
No.
Might have get eaten by Quad J. I don't know.
He's been taken out early, actually, Aki. This defense could fall apart very quickly as Bus gets taken out too. They're the two linchpins.
Yeah, you do not want to be losing your Ana early on in the piece, because if you lose that, you're probably going to lose the Winston as well. And so, for all the talk we had about the point A defense from Mindfreak, that really hasn't eventuated into a whole lot, has it?
No,
in fact, that might have been quicker from Athletico than it was from Mindfreak.
It actually was, because they were able to stall out the point a little bit longer there, Athletico, but that's what I mean. Quad J found the Ana, ate the nade, and then finished the kill off because the positioning wasn't quite there from Aki. Maybe August or Swilko weren't in position to help him out, but this could lead to a very fast snowball as the D-field rally's online. If he can close the gap and get that rally going, Bus could be in a lot of pain. We see him kite back now very quickly. Get out of there, Bustle.
Yeah, he doesn't have any ultimate charged up here either because he had to swap off from the Winston. So it's going to be a while before Bus really comes online.
That's
so
well done.
certainly should come first.
It's well done from Mindfreak though, give him that space. But a big nade from Merida gets 5!
Oh my god, that is surely a win condition for Athletico. There we go, it is indeed. Wuvo charges forward and Quad J continues.
And they're not stalling the card at all, it's just moving. Okay, now they're finally stalling the card.
Well, I mean, yeah, for all the good it's going to do, another couple of seconds. I suppose it gives enough time then for Mindfreak to at least mount another defense here in Phase B.
They have ultimates coming online. They have the Grav Bomb combination. There's no Transcendence on the side of Athletico. They've chosen the Ana, and as we saw last fight, it can just win you a fight if you get that Pyrotic Grenade off without any cooldowns. But it's going to be a rough touch here from the side of Mindfreak.
Are they even going to be able to touch? They might even get grabbed off the point. Not quite by the looks of things. It'll be the grab down from Mindfreak first, and they might find a way to win. I don't know what happened to Woobros there, but it hasn't had any kind of an impact, and Addy's certainly locked up a lot of Athletico players. You can see the result. It's Mindfreak that are winning this fight.
Certainly is, and that's the defensive ult advantage, having 3 defensive ults versus 2. Running the Ana, it's great when it works, and when it doesn't work, sometimes you can find a bit wanting. As the only ultimate needed to be used there defensively is the rally from August. Addy uses his Graviton Surge and it catches a lot. Kiki drops his bomb too, but now Mindfreak are in a decent position to hold for a long time here.
Yep.
As they can sit their supports on that high ground and it's pretty safe. The only person that can really touch them is Quad J. Maybe Merit if he's sharp.
Shadow should be coming up shortly for Bust as well.
This is another difficult point to attack because the spawn is so far away if you're the attacker. Passo's getting pressured out super fast, super early, and that's the external bubble already popped.
Oh, well, Snowberry has to go down early. Probably wouldn't have liked to have used it there. Swilko would have wanted to hang on to it a little bit longer, but if it wins the fight for Mindfreak, then no problems at all. Will the Transcendence be forced out as well? It does, but even Bust still goes down. Was there a Bionade involved from Merit? I didn't see one. What is that? Oh my god. Well,
Beautiful.
For all the support ultimates you talk about on Mindfreak, it doesn't matter. You just get one shot through everything anyway.
Quad J with the 5k. I was a bit nervous there because Merit invested the nano boost late after Passo went down. Then Weaver invested the grab, but they knew that as soon as that Rhine shield was out of the question, they were able to get these grab bomb kills, and Quad J cleaning 5 up in the fight. It's a big individual impact from there, but it was also great teamwork. As Merit's on the flank, he's looking to sleep and go in the shadow.
Well, it does just get the Bionade. Only a one-player connection, and Addy uses his own bubble to destroy any hopes of a capitalization from Athletico. That's a very nice Graviton Surge. Not real kills coming from it, only D-Field going down. Thought that there could be more for Mindfreak, to be honest. Rubo eventually kills himself, and Shadow only connects onto Aki, which is not enough. That was a really weird fight. I thought Mindfreak would win that probably cleaner than they did, but it's maybe beneficial that they didn't, because it actually forces the Shadow down from Passo.
Yeah, a bit of an inexperienced Earth Shadow there from Passo. He kind of expected he could turn the fight maybe with a Miracle Shadow, but that happens once every blue moon, and I think it's already happened once already this season. So
oh, it's for sure. It's happened a few
multiple
times.
times. Yeah, it's just something that you're feeling it in the moment, and then you waste your Shadow. But they still have ultimates to play with. Merit with that Nano Boost could build that Shadow up very quickly. And if D-Field can get his rally online to match August, then there could be some aggression coming out here.
The thing is going to be, though, if Mindfreak's able to hold for 3 minutes here, that's the way that it's going to happen. Is small little errors creeping in for Athletico. They're giving up a bit too much room, maybe, in the losses. Waiting for a shatter. That's a very good one from Bas. Passo getting totally caught off.
Certainly was. When you get that nano boost, you want to go aggressive, but if the enemy Ryan has shatter, it's very difficult to, because he can catch you mid-swing, put that shatter down, and all of a sudden you're on your back. That's not where you want to be if you've got a nano boost attached to you. Athletico now swapped off to the Merit Zenyatta. It's matching comp for comp. I like this a bit more. It's a bit safer. You can kind of play the ultimate chess game with the Graviton Surges and the defensive ults, and sometimes you can catch your enemy out and have an advantage in the defensive ult department, and then you can just win a fight straight off that.
Tell you what, Legacy's probably sweating bullets watching this game. 2 minutes and 20 seconds still on the clock for Athletico. Plenty of time to cap the point out and have an advantage going into the time banks, but they're hanging on, Mindfreak. They're hanging on, and Legacy is praying that they're going to be able to.
Quad J's bomb could open this up with the Graviton Surge. We've seen it before. If we can take Bustle out earlier in the fight, it could be very difficult. The Sandman goes down, but the Quad J bomb gets bust.
How on earth has that happened? It's not going to be the bomb this time that's going to get rid of Mindfreak. It's just the Graviton Surge that's required. But the bomb did certainly open up the fight for Athletico. Mindfreak will probably be able to get a decent contest onto this final point.
Bus has gone onto the Wrecking Ball. A bit premature, but
Had
he
shatter.
might have to.
He had shatter, which is going to be a real painful swap for him. But he does get to the point in time, of course, to secure this contest. Immediately gets knocked over, though. I mean, what's going on? Where's the rest of Mindfreak? That's the question. This seems totally out of order for Mindfreak. They're all over the place. They're going in one by one. It's not how you're going to win this kind of a fight. Maybe Bust went earlier than he needed to.
Certainly did, and the Quad J bomb doesn't even need to come down. And now there's a position where Athletico, they capped with over a minute remaining. This is unexpected. That first point really set them up for a good second point, and then when they were able to clutch out that second point fight, they set them up for a good third point. Even though they faltered a little bit on the third point, they were able to gather themselves back, play that ultimate chess, and really execute. Quad J's bomb killing Bus, maybe through a stun, maybe through a boop, really opened the fight up because Passo was able to freely shatter there. He gets 2, and they continue to roll on through.
Yeah, I don't know what this means now for the map differential, right? If this becomes a draw, because if Athletico would have won this map, or if they do win this map, they then require Legacy to win against Ground Zero in order for Legacy to make playoffs. If this is a draw, I have to do some quick maths on stream, Smash. I know you're a bit of a
We'll get the number crunchers
calculator
in the back to set it up because, yeah, I'm not crunching any numbers right now.
Right now, it should be the same as it is. It's one apiece, right? So it's -1, -2 for Athletico Legacy. If it's a draw, it stays at -1, -2, correct?
Correct.
And then the situation continues as it has. So that final map would be hugely important. Rialto, if Mindfreak win it, then Athletico are still in a pretty precarious position. If Athletico would win that, then they may be safe in playoffs,
Well,
maybe not.
We saw Mindfreak collapse here earlier.
Indeed, like that could all be a non-factor if Athletico just knocks over Mindfreak here. Athletico, I mean, they're doing everything that they need to right now to stay in playoffs. And
Certainly are, and they'll be hyped up too. They'll be feeling it. Momentum is all on Atletico's side here. If they can manage to get this clean fight win and get the map win, then is
Aki's hiding this time though. That's really smart. He's going to get the Bionade through to connect only onto Wuvo, but that might well be enough. Bus drops back down, jumping straight back up as soon as he gets healed. But immediately, Mindfreak knocked off of the high ground. It's looking good so far from Athletico, but they don't have that much time. There's one! Great work from Aki. The Bionade does go through, doesn't connect onto anyone, at least not on anyone on Athletico's side. But Bust is getting low now. The Nano Boost is still quite a ways away. So is Primal Rage for Bust, and eventually it's going to come up. This is where the fight starts to fall apart for Athletico. I think they need to reset here, give themselves another chance with the 20 seconds that they have remaining.
Boss has the Primal Rage, Aki has the Nano Boost. In that fight, Aki redeems himself from his previous mistake on the first point. This is going to be very difficult for the side of Athletico to get in here, get into a position without rushing themselves too much, to leaving themselves open to this Bio Grenade or to this
going for the
Design's going for it. He could get slept. No, he gets booped up.
He's going to die for sure though, so it's going to be a 6v5 from the outset. Bust is just locking them all
He's the gatekeeper
inside. Well, no one's getting on the school bus today, and it's a draw on Numbani. Athletico so close, but yet so far. And that still continues to keep Legacy's hopes alive going into tomorrow.
It all comes down to one map though, Rialto. It's a map that maybe Athletico feel a little bit more confident on because of their previous results.
Very interesting series, this one. I mean, we would never have expected it to be this close, but best case scenario for Mindfreak now is a 2-1 win, which is still enough for them. I'm saying, I'm talking about Legacy quite a lot, I'm talking about Athletico quite a lot, but let's not forget Mindfreak, they just need a win. They don't need a big win or anything like that, which they can't get anymore, quite frankly, but 2-1 is enough.
Well, yeah, you win by an inch, you win by a mile. Anything, only win is a win in this situation. It just needs to happen for them. That means they're uncatchable by order. And that's what they want to achieve in this series.
Yeah, and if they end up going 2-1 up, they have a +11 map differential, and who knows what would happen if Warriors ended up losing.
Which, I mean, today we've seen the underdog come through very strong at the start of the series, and Drop Bears are no slouches. They've got some experienced players there and some real talent. So we see this replay of the Quad J 5K. It was very well set up and good presence in the team fight to know that it wasn't just going to be a loss there. They could have called it early, but they invested the ults after Paso went down, knowing that Bus wasn't in the fight either, which means they can come back in.
Yeah, really playing around their win conditions very nicely, Athletico. Just have to think that, you know, one or two things went their way on Numbani, and they would have won the map.
Most certainly. Aki came through very big here on the defense, the second defense time around. As Bus, the gatekeeper, just stopping all the fun.
Well, Rialto. It's the final map of the series. We know that there cannot be a draw from this point. We're at one apiece with one map to play. A win for Athletico is going to put them in a really good spot. Might even be able to jump them not only out of 6th, but potentially into 5th, depending on how the results between Sydney Drop Bears and Warriors go. Like, if Sydney Drop Bears lose to Warriors, Athletico wins, and Legacy wins, Sydney Drop Bears may still even drop out of playoffs. Like, that's...
What a world we live in, where Sydney Drop Bears drop out of playoffs of the Australian Contenders after winning 3 seasons, getting into the grand final last season too. That's unheard of.
It's unlikely because it's Legacy and Ground Zero, and every day of the week I'm betting on Ground Zero to win that series.
Yep.
But this one, I probably would have said the same thing. I would have said every day of the week I'm backing Mindfreak to beat Athletico pretty comfortably, 3-1, maybe, probably even 4-0. I would have said, but we're not at that point anymore, and it's going to have to be a 2-1 for either side. A 2-1 for Athletico puts them through at 3-4 with a completely dead even map differential.
Yeah. Oh, Rialto is such an iffy map too. It's one of those maps where you can get snowballed all the way to the end so fast and then get staggered out forever. It's one of those maps where the first holds are pretty common because of that broken corner we called it. We called it broken corner because it was so broken for the defenders. They could duck in and out of sight so easily, and those short sight lines means you can really put some aggression on it. Really fast paced.
So, what do you want to start on here? It'll be Atletico's choice again because it was a draw, so it defaults back to the Paris result.
It's really... I mean, you can run a bunker composition to try and catch your enemy off guard because Rhine Goats is usually the staple on this point, right? Usually it's a 3-3 with your Reinhardt, everyone holds at the corner, you swing at each other, and then whoever uses their ults best wins. But sometimes teams like to throw in a curveball and throw in either a Pharah, Widow composition or the bunker composition on the card, the Bastion on the card. Now, it looks like neither team is going to go for anything too funky fresh, as Mindfreak have been the spawner and playing around, being silly buggers, but Athletico have gone for that Reinhardt 3-3 composition. That we won't be seeing for much longer.
Yeah, just this week.
Might please you because the fights can go on for a very long time.
They can. Oh, I'm ready to get excited in playoffs and semis and finals. Even next season. There's
been some exciting things happening in the Overwatch League with that 2-2-2 meta, so hopefully it spills over into Contenders.
A lot of double sniper from what I've been seeing.
See the scouting wrecking ball coming up. What do you see, Bus? You see some Reinhardt?
What do your elf eyes see, Bus? Oh wait, hang on, that doesn't make sense.
Oh, you're the elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. But it is going to be that 3-3 matchup. Merit on the Ana is the only difference here, and that means they can get some early fight impacts with this Ana grenade, but they need to be quick on it.
Design wanting to boot, but Kiki's all over that, and Mindfreak pushing forward, trying to get some positioning here just so that they get out of those tight choke points. He's going low on both sides. We're getting healed back on up. Athletico is giving ground. This corner, though, is where they're going to look to start their defense. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to, though.
Pressure.
Yeah, Paso's just getting so low, so Athletico can never really stop retreating, and inevitably Paso goes down as well, but Bust then overextends and gets picked off himself. That said, Bust at the very least is going to be traded for the Diva Mech. What an aid again! It's Merit. He's connected onto 4 and he's like, Wubo, it's time to go. I'm going to throw that nano boost on in. I don't know, did it go onto Wubo? Who cares? Doesn't really matter at this point. It went through and Mindfreak were forced back.
He's been an absolute star this series so far. The really difference maker, but the Graviton Surge comes out and Kiki eats Wubos!
Kiki does indeed, so that is going to be a fight win for Mindfreak, and it all comes down to just holding that right click up. The Umbrella, powerful against the Graviton Surge. Merit will get staggered a little bit as well.
Will be another contest, but Mindfreak have all the cards in the deck now. They've got the Bust Shadow, which can be easily set up on this point, because there will be Athletico will have to try and touch the point, and they'll be staggered in. It won't be a 6v6.
God, you guys drive any faster. You're right, it won't be. Here comes the self-destruct. This is going to open the door for the Shatter. No, Bust hangs on to it for a moment. Eventually locks it down and locks 3 players down as well. A good one from Bust. Where's the follow-up though from Mindfreak? It's not there. Sound barrier down from design, keeps them all healthy, and then Sulko offers his own response. Wubo pushing forward with the nano boost as well, looking to do some damage, looking to build the Graviton Surge up, but Addy is still
Passo's Earthshatter has to be the key for Athletico though. He has to lock down Aki because that defensive ult can ruin everything for the side of Athletico, for their defense here. Minute 49 on the clock. This is the best chance for Mindfreak to capture this out. They have the Graviton Surge now coming through. No defensive ult from Athletico.
There's Graviton Surge going to be invested. Maybe waiting for defense matrix, and he did wait it out. Quad J can't keep it up forever. And Mindfreak, that's an easy fight win.
Certainly is, and that gets Bust's Shadow back into business too. So this is going to be an interesting fight. This first fight is going to be key for them. If they can get a nice Graviton Surge off from Wubo and maybe isolate one of those squishy heroes in the Graviton Surge with their Discord, they can get an early pick off, and that might turn the tides. But it's really difficult to get this one. He's grabbed early actually, but Aki's already in it, so there's not going to be anything from this.
Addy did go low. No harm though for Mindfreak. They're going to have to give up the high ground, but even still the payload's continuing to push forward. So I'll call that a win, at least for now.
Mindfreak all out of ultimates though, and Passo has the Shadow here. If he can lock down fast, then this could be a big one.
Doesn't actually really connect onto too much. Aki, well, not much you can do there, unfortunately. He was the only one that got collected by the Earth Shadow. Oh, Passo.
He found a boat, it's fine. This is another difficult position for Mindfreak to attack from, because you have this bridge, which is shocking to get over if you're playing this 3-3 composition. There's no cover.
You have such a long way to run back to get to the point, so you get harassed on the whole distance. Yeah, the sightlines are a big problem.
But if I've seen a team do it, it's Mindfreak. They are very good at this 3-3 composition, something they've played for a very long time. Their teamwork is excellent on it. You see August and Bust hitting for Shadow bashes all the time.
Oh, Bust is pretty low here. It's maybe an overcommitment from Mindfreak as they just run into an absolute stack of Athletico players. Bust, in fact, wasn't the first one to go down, which might have been the expectation, but nonetheless, Athletico will be happy with that. A good fight win.
Certainly will be, and ults build up on the side of Mindfreak though. They're going to need to save them all up and spend them all at once to break this, I think. So difficult to break this bridge hold. And Design hasn't even gone for a flying boop yet. He's playing pretty reserved. Good on him. It'd be very tempting to boop everyone off that bridge.
And he's looking for another grab. Perhaps waiting for Athletico to filter out from this high ground before he throws it on in. But it'll be Wubo that starts off first. Addy just throws a bit of a Hail Mary, quite frankly. It seems to have worked. It seems to have connected onto a lot of players, and we see Transcendence through on both sides. Aki and Merit ably countering out the Graviton's Shadow, though. That'll be a bit of a different task. I don't know that that's connected onto too many Athletico players, though, from Bust. So where's the advantage come from? Well, it's August on the D-field, his counterpart on Brigitte, and now Sound Barrier forced on one side, the Shadow blocked on the other. Great work from Bust, and now finally we start to see Mindfreak getting an advantage on this payload to be able to push further forward. And Athletico routed.
So another way that Mindfreak like to set up their shadows, they're pretty much only one of the teams that do this. Order do it a little bit as well, but the Boop Shadow there, Swilko dives in from the high ground, boops poor Passo to the side. He can't play around it really. He can use his shield, but it's very difficult to. He manages to set up the fight, makes the defensive ults come out, and Mindfreak are able to kite around and get the advantage in the defensive ult department.
Some time for another contest though from Athletico, but come down to Wubo's Graviton Surge. Kiki with the bomb has found Merit. Not how you want to start the fight, particularly when you're Zenyatta is at 93%, and Wubo was cancelled by Aki's trance. So now it's on to Addy to do the dirty work for Mindfreak. He'll put his own Graviton Surge on. Athletico just stumbling here at the potential final hurdle, 30 seconds on the clock. I mean, it was a difficult fight to win, that's for sure. They didn't do themselves any favours with Merit getting picked early on.
August had a key moment in that fight where the Paso was charging that Graviton Surge to try and take Bus's shield out of the play, but August manages to intercept it, bashes back and knocks both to the ground. He lives. That means that they fight another day, Mindfreak. Minute 38 though is not a lot of time to work with going into this point. It's so difficult to cap this map out in this last bit, this last section. Defield with the rally, go. We see Mindfreak disengage so often on this series. Every rally that Defield's pulled out, I feel like Mindfreak have had a speed boost, ready to disengage. So well played from Squirco on the side of Mindfreak.
They're on the ball. Mindfreak needs a good section here. A minute 15 to get through phase C. Every Alto is not a lot of time, but this is going to help. Bus gets a good shatter down. So too does Paso though, as there's 4 Mindfreak players on the floor. And who's going to get more value out of it? Well, typically, the second shatter is going to be the one that is more impactful. And that was the case here as well. Pastos went down after Buses.
Design did invest the sound barrier into that though to keep them alive, and Buster managed to build up so much ult charge there that maybe that's a good ult economy fight for the side of Mindfreak, because they force a defensive ult out and Buster's already building up his shadow very quickly. I don't know about this rotation that they're doing though. It leaves them very vulnerable to attacking from the high ground, and you put yourself in a choke where things can get very, very hairy very, very quickly as they get caught in a Graviton Surge.
The grab looks good, but the Transcendence seems better from Aki. I don't know if Addy was caught around a corner or something like that. Doesn't appear to have gotten the healing. Regardless, Merit gets the kill. And now Pasto's built himself another shatter up. Oh, Mindfreak, they're getting absolutely wrecked. What a shatter that was from Pasto. At the very least, Mindfreak have been clean wiped.
Athletico need to hold forward here though. They've spent all of their ultimates. They don't really have anything left in the bank, and they need to stop Mindfreak from touching or really make it difficult for them to touch. And Swilko's going to go on for the top rope, but no, he might not be able to get there.
Oh, Kiki did just manage to get the touch, but the mech's down early. Sound barrier late. Doesn't save Kiki still. There's a weight of ultimates being thrown at Athletico here. I don't know that this is going to go too nicely for the defending side. Even though Mindfreak are going to have to push in overtime from now on, they at least are going to have that option.
Yeah, certainly do have that option. You see that defensive ult, the lack of it coming out from Athletico. They won't be able to sustain through the Addy Graviton Surge. And now with the overtime spawns, there'll be one defense left from the side of Athletico. They have some defensive ults, they have the Graviton, they have everything they could need for this fight.
That last fight was perfect for Athletico, right? It was a dry fight, costs Mindfreak a couple of big ultimates, really self-destruct. You got the Graviton Surge coming out there as well. Sound barrier, and now Athletico have everything to play with. I mean, Wubo is essentially free. If this grab connects, Mindfreak should be dead, but can it be eaten? No is the answer, and now Athletico need to pile on.
Wubo goes down.
Wubo goes down as well. Bus gets a shatter in there somewhere, and all of a sudden this fight starts to turn on its head. Mindfreak getting it done with not a lot. Athletico slow down, they wait for Wubo to come back on in, and now self-destruct through to re-engage the fight. Paso looking for a shatter, hasn't really connected what he needed to, and Aki's got Transcendence out as well. It's all falling apart for Athletico under pressure, and Mindfreak just staying that little bit more composed, dodging away from the ultimates and keeping themselves pushing that cart. They're not quite going to finish the map off just yet, but looks to be a sure thing now.
The Graviton Surge will keep them off the cart. Nobody's coming out to left door to touch, and that will be it. The C9 grab. Timeless classic. Wubo overcommitting there with his Graviton Surge. He was a bit too eager. Mindfreak did the correct thing. They played the backside of the cart, which gives them that natural line of sight blocker. So the back line can't really get the discords on. They can't get the pressure out. And Wubo just overcommitting a little bit. And when you are caught in that Graviton Surge as that 3-3 composition, you can fight back. Bus just needs to hold his shield back, and the rest of the boys can fight back. And they managed to do that and catch Wubo by surprise, taking him down, and that really changed the momentum of the fight. Still, this is what we saw on Numbani though, a stoic defense from Athletico. Can they come back with that big attack that they had on Numbani first?
Yeah, exactly. That is going to be the difference maker if Athletico can do that again. Oh, well.
Seen it once before.
I do feel as though you'd be a little disappointed with that as Athletico though. You know, if they get held up in phase C, right at maybe let's say right at point C.
Right, yeah.
They'd be thinking, hey, what if we could have held under the bridge?
Yeah, it's such a hard situation, but momentum now on Mindfreak's shoulders. They really are probably feeling themselves a little bit better now. They've had some nerves on that second point for sure with those questionable rotations, but they managed to figure it all out and get the right plays going. Athletico, will they choose to run this Sombra? It is a hero that can win fights just off the back of that one ultimate if executed correctly. Mindfreak have been playing a lot better on this 3-3 composition. It looks like they've had a better idea of how to play it. Swilko with these counter engages, with the beat drops, with the counter engage with the speed boost away from the rallies has been pretty pivotal. As D-Field, it looks like it'll just be a scouting software actually. Go back and see what he's found. He's found goats, so he'll swap in kind. No Arnas this time around. Yeah, and Swilko is staying on the floor, so he's not going for that big boop. As the aggression comes out, Passo's shield goes first early. D-Field very vulnerable now.
He is indeed. Swilko is still looking for some boobs. Doesn't quite manage to connect this one. Difficult, of course, in a game like this.
He's in trouble.
Quad J's off the map. He didn't have the boosters. Swilko's done a great amount of work by being able to trade, and Aki gets Passo as well as the supports that are stepping up here for Mindfreak. But if it's only the supports that are fragging out, unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. Athletico will push forward. Now, the interesting difference is, in this instance, Athletico died at this corner as opposed to prior to it, which meant they sort of scrambled to get a hold. This time, Mindfreak, they drop a little further forward, so they get a bit more of a solid contest.
They certainly do, but the aggression can come out. If D-Field can get his rally up and really put the pressure on Bust, this shadow could be a big one.
August is close by with that rally as well. Everything is so close by for Mindfreak. They just want 5 or 10 seconds more here before the fight breaks down, but unfortunately, they're not going to get it. Bust is going to be shield bashed as well, and isn't able to get his shadow out in the fight either. Mindfreak, I think I'm going to have to give this one up. There's no point investing ultimates. If they would have been given another 2 or 3 seconds, that would have been a really, really good attempt, at least, from Mindfreak.
Certainly would have been, but the only ult expended in that fight was D-Field's rally. As Quadj's been caught out a little bit here, but they're actually going to try and get the stagger spawns, and they have. They've caught Addy, which is good time off the clock. That means moving over this bridge becomes a lot easier, especially with no high ground for Addy for the start of the fight, where he can just get those right clicks in.
Athletico looks so much better on the attack, don't they?
They do. They look like they're steamrolling through it. Maybe nerves from Mindfreak, but
I suppose. I mean, this is you fighting for second place, right? Essentially. You lose here, Order's going to be licking their lips. They're thinking, hey, second place is ours. Aki has caught Passo, though. The Graviton surge from Wuvo doesn't seem to have done enough to win the fight for Athletico. And yeah, as we were giving some praise to Athletico, it's all gone wrong. Mindfreak are going to re-establish themselves, although Kiki...
They've double committed the ults on Athletico.
I don't know what's going on. Everything's been thrown in. Yeah, you're right. Double support ultimate's not good. Quad J the only one to hang on to anything. In fact, D-Field also has his rally, but this fight was just a mess from Athletico.
It was an absolute schmozzle. Passo, so on the high ground, they scouted that, okay, they're going to contest us on the high ground, and Passo goes for the Hail Mary shot around the corner, completely blind. Something I've done in the past, and it never looks good when it doesn't come off. And he shatters straight into Bust's shield. He had the presence of mind to keep the shield up. And then Wuvo commits the grab, but nobody put any damage into it. And they just keep committing ult after ult after ult, getting no value as the grab comes out and there's nothing to answer here. D-Field's rally won't be enough.
That's another demolition, really. Mindfreak are back on this defense. 3 minutes and 26 seconds to hold. It's a long time, but if you were going to make it happen, this is how you want to be doing it. Really economic fights.
Athletico have brain boomed me. I don't know what to expect now out of them. They've gone from hero to zero really quickly, but anything's possible now. They are building their ults back up. Passo with the shadow, Quad J with the bomb, and we've seen Quad J go big with those bombs before. Mindfreak will go straight off the top of this building into them though, and really catch them on the goblet. The bomb comes out.
That's a nice shadow there. Shield bash was through there as well. And Mindfreak reaping the benefits. Wuvo gets the players low, but now he's lost his entire team and there's nothing to be done.
It's another good beat drop from Swilko there to counter that bomb out. I think he saves 2 players there, himself included. Manages to beat just before the bomb goes off, so he gets the maximum amount of shield on it. We saw Athletico stall up Mindfreak for a pretty big period of time on this bridge section. Mindfreak returning the favor. It has been Mindfreak taking that engagement off the high ground onto the low ground, catching the supports out. But Wuvo's grab comes off on the wall.
Bust was caught in it and just absolutely obliterated. Aki has thrown Trance out as well and just isn't able to keep his team alive even through the Transcendence. So this is a big win for Athletico. fairly substantial ultimates there for Mindfreak that don't really have as much of an impact as they need to.
Mindfreak will still get another fight off, and they will have Addy's Graviton Surge, but there are a lot of defensive ults from Athletico to answer it. There's going to have to be a big disruption here. Passo's going to have to get his shield taken down. They're going to need to get all the externals out. It's going to have to be a miracle fight from Mindfreak to take this.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Passo's going down early though.
He seems to be okay. Sound barrier was forced from design earlier. I suppose that's an insurance, but still Passo dies. Kiki with the bomb. How on earth has that happened? And can Athletico turn this fight around with their weight of ultimates? I don't think that they're going to be able to now. If there was a Graviton Surge, maybe, but Merit would be loath to invest his Transcendence here, which he still does end up doing, but Deepfield goes down regardless, and the fight is lost, and everything was thrown. I mean, Sound Barrier, Transcendence, Rally, and they still lose the fight there, Athletico. That is not good at all.
Passo getting caught off there by that Diva Bomb is disastrous. I didn't quite catch where August was in the fight, but maybe he caught a nice shield bash timing there. But, oh, that's not good for the side of Athletico. This is a hard point to get back into. And Graviton Surge is up, and Merit swapped over to the Arna, so that Transcendence won't be available.
It allows Mindfreak to just reset their position as well a bit. They've got a bit of high ground to play with here, which is going to be really nice for Addy. Graviton Surge goes right onto the point. Almost sounded like it got eaten there by Quad J, but not the case. And Bus slams design into the wall. It's all over for Athletico in this fight. They've got one left. Wuvo.
It's going to need to be a big grab and a big bio nade from Merit, because that Transcendence is going to be there. Swilko's beat drop's going to be there.
Hey, it's what Mindfreak was able to do, right? They camped out here. Well, it wasn't quite at this point in overtime, but they essentially need an overtime push on phase C, which is what Mindfreak did. And if they can do it, maybe Athletico can as well.
Maybe there's still life in this game yet, but it's looking grim for the side of Athletico.
Well, it's now or never for Athletico. Their playoffs hopes are still alive at this point, but may start to dwindle away. Kiki with the bomb. He's going to find Quad J. It was an exchange of self-destructs. And Kiki gets the better of it. Bust is now looking for a shatter, and he gets a great one. That'll be the end of the map. Mindfreak are going to win the series. Quad J knows it. He's sitting in spawn, and Mindfreak have secured second place at the very least this season in Overwatch Contenders Australia with a 2-1 win over Athletico. What that means for Athletico, we're not so sure just yet. It doesn't mean that they're out of playoffs, but it does leave the door open slightly ajar for Legacy to pip them to the post.
Well, now Legacy knows what they have to do to pip them at the post, as you said, and get into their first playoffs, but I think it's going to be a tough ask with them going up against Ground Zero, who've been looking hot this season.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so devastated for Athletico. They had all the ultimates they needed, and then they just keep throwing them away. The ultimate usage was so questionable on that last map. It looked like they had the mechanics matching up with Mindfreak. You know, the dry fights, they were so good for Athletico. They were winning almost every dry fight, but then the ultimates come around and the brains go out the window.
Yeah, maybe is it just a bit of pressure getting to Athletico there?
It certainly could be. They've had a really rough back half of the season. After winning the first two, they've gone down just ever since, and maybe they were so close to that victory they could taste it, and they're just a few questionable decisions. They had some good moments, but they also had some absolute shockers. But credit to them, they came and we thought this series was going to be pretty done and dusted pretty quickly, but they showed so much fight. So credit to the players on the side of Athletico and the coaching staff to bring out a really good performance here, honestly.
Well, I was told, Smash, by Admin02 that with the draw, Athletico does now force Legacy to win this series against Ground Zero tomorrow. I'm not so sure on the maths. I haven't had a look at it myself. That seems like it's up in the air to me. I'm going to go in the break and have a quick look. But if that is the case, if that's correct, then, I mean, Athletico have probably done enough, in my mind, to stay in playoffs.
Yeah, I think Admin02 wouldn't do us dirty like that. I think he's pretty clued in bloke, that Admin02, so hopefully he's correct. But Legacy have to win versus Ground Zero tomorrow. What a series that will be. Ground Zero will be fighting for seeding. Legacy will be fighting for life. Expect a big series tomorrow, as both of them will be, as Order will be fighting as well for seeding.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good plays there as well from both sides. I mean, Bus seemed to get it rolling pretty well. Passo really as well. Both the main tanks. I mean, Merit, of course. You have to talk about Merit.
I don't envy our production team for choosing this max play of the game, because it's going to be really difficult. I can't pick one off the top of my head. It's 3 or 4 that have gone on that series.
The Cinderella and JP brain trust out the back, I'm sure, are working quite heavily, trying to figure out which one they want. I know Cindy's always like, choose the main tank.
Yeah, look,
Choose the main tank.
if we've got those two back there choosing it, could end up with anything.
That's why we get so many Reinhardt player of the games this season.
You know, you actually have got a point there. There has been a lot of
Yeah.
them. Oh, all right.
Biased main tank players.
Yeah, no, they are biased, are they? Need MC God to be picking him.
MC. I don't know what MC played. I reckon he'd probably be a DPS main.
He would be. He's an aim lord.
I'm
He's
pretty
an aim
sure he
freak.
was an insta-locked Widowmaker every time I played with him, which is
Yep.
a bit disastrous. Anyway, Smash. It's a good series to start the season. Not the season. Goodness me.
The week?
We're almost ending the
It is the
season.
week, yeah.
To start the week off, though. Yeah, like, I mean, if we're going to get series like that kind of go down to the wire and keep things pretty interesting for the rest, I mean, we're going to be in for a good week.
You're going to need a week off next week to rest your voice if we get series like that all the time. You were going pretty hard there.
Yeah,
It was
certainly
a good
are.
series.
All right, let's not mess around. We all want to jump into the Macca's play of the game. It's Mindfreak and Athletico, and the Macca's play of the game. It's the Diva this time with a 5k bomb. Quad J, well, it was a 3k, but there you go. Well, that's a
Gets
nice
back
shot.
in the mech
Straight
and he
back in.
finishes off the boys too. It was a great 5k from Quad J, and it really
There we
turned
go.
the fight.
It wasn't the 5k bomb, but it was the 5k in the fight.
And that was such a nice sequence of play from Athletico. They went down in the fight, but they knew they could bring it back with the ultimates, and they committed everything, and they managed to cap it out. And that is one of those points that can be difficult to cap. So committing everything, not always the worst idea there.
Didn't win the game, but you won the Macca's play of the game. So what's more important at that point? Quad J is going to be happy, I'm sure.
Certainly will.
Again, it doesn't necessarily matter really whether or not Athletico have won this series. It all comes down to what Legacy is able to do tomorrow. I mean, yeah, Athletico's probably feeling like, oh, we could have won that series. We could have had pretty much a lock-in for playoffs, but might still be a good enough result.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the cards are out for them now. They know everything that's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, though.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting as well what we get to see out of our next matchup. Warriors and Sydney Drop Bears. A win there for Warriors will secure them first place this season. We're going to take a break, but our second match for today is coming up soon.